So without further ado, I am so thrilled to introduce our speakers this evening, founders of the It's a Continent podcast and the authors of the book by the same name, which is all over there and also down here as well. We have the amazing Chinny, Ukata, and Astrid Madimba. Thank you so much, both of you, for being here this evening, for writing this incredible book, for having this amazing podcast, and for, spearheading this amazing movement. So to get started, tell us a little bit about your background, Chinny and Astrid. Tell us about how you met. Tell us a little bit about the education you had when you were here at school in the United Kingdom. Chinny, we'll start with you.
Yeah, sure. So I am British Nigerian. So I was born in the UK. Whole family is Nigerian and grew up in Southend, a small town. Well, it's a city now. Yeah. It's a city in Essex, and it was. I would say it wasn't necessarily that diverse growing up. It's a lot more multicultural now, but at the time, I was pretty much myself and another family, if I'm honest, that was from a similar background. So as a result, I guess the education that I received was very much not geared towards sort of African history as a whole. So it was looking at things that perhaps I thought, where do I fit into this, and what's my sort of story? So I guess that was that beginning of intrigue as to starting this podcast. So I guess that was a seed that was planted quite early, and then I'll let Astrid introduce and we'll talk about how we met ourselves.
Yeah. So, you're a Devonite.
Yes.
I'm a Somerset girl.
Oh, really?
So,
The accent comes through with certain words, is what I've been told.
Yes.
I know. I don't know which ones, but do you know?
She's
like, what?
Yeah, I think if you said stuff like farm, then I think.
Oh, I won't be saying
those in the West.
Yeah, basically. So I'm Astrid. I'm Congolese. I was born in the DRC. Moved to the UK when I was 7, and I grew up in Plymouth. Similar to Chinny, it was not the most diverse place to grow up in, and so I think one of the things for me was around understanding my identity. I'm great when it comes to British culture, but also when it comes to being Congolese, I didn't really know much about the history. And in school, there's definitely a deficit of that. I actually remember we had Black History Month at secondary school, and they basically got the children who were from, Africa, Asia, all in one room, and we're like, okay, here's Black History Month. And I was just like, what about, there's nobody else interested in the rest of the school in this? And so, it was a way to do it. But I think for me, I wanted to learn more about where I came from, just as much as I knew about kind of British history. And I think, that's the bit that we really connected on.
Yeah, definitely. And we met on an internship. As you do, yeah.
Yep. Chinny nodded at me just like that. It was honestly the black nod.
It was the nod.
Yeah, we were on an internship, and they mentioned actually it would be good if you guys live together because you'll be working in the same place. And I was like, I don't know anyone here. Who am I going to live with? And I literally remember looking across the room and was just like,
you just went,
yeah. And I was like, okay, I made a friend, no idea what her name is, but we'll be living together. And that was 2015.
Yep.
And we've kept in touch, been friends ever since, and now a podcast.
The nod was powerful.
Yeah, very powerful, powerful.
Incredibly powerful nod. And so where did the concept of It's a Continent come from? Did it come from one particular incident? Where was the motivation to create the podcast in the first place?
Came from a random place. So I was on a date.
So many of our stories at Trouble Start. I was on a date.
I know. I was on a date. We're not together. At the V&A Museum, and it was looking at Africans through art, and I thought this is incredible. So check on the date. That's my kind of thing. But then I was like, I remember after the date, went back to Chinny's, obviously to dissect.
Decompress.
Yeah, to be like, okay, are we moving forward to date 2? But then I was like, the piece that I took away from it was more, actually, there's a lot about my own history that I don't know. And Chinny's amazing at doing this. And was just like, right, how do we solve this? Because I feel exactly the same way. So she took her laptop out and we're like, right, what do we not know? And then what's the best format for us to kind of learn this? And maybe there's other people who want to learn more about African nations and things. And that was,
we kind of took it from there.